3, the Boxer versus Doc28.
Two of the greatest players in the world. Both world-class level competitors. I believe they're both at Worlds.
I believe, yes, they were
So
both at Worlds. Yep.
yeah, so this is a Worlds level quality game.
Absolutely. And,
Let's
and
I
and special shout out to the Boxer as well. The Boxer was our co-host on Friday, and really taking their time. It is a sacrifice, not only the time to host the event with us as you're doing, Ilya, but also, you guys take time out of not being able to participate in these tournaments. And, it's one challenge, so, maybe not losing too much EV, but really shaking a challenge off the board that you may use to qualify for the Invitational and sacrificing a little bit of your World's equity to cast with us. And really appreciate the Boxer doing that on Friday, and you doing that
Yep,
tonight. So it means a lot.
yep. Yeah, ultimately it is about the community. The World Championship is about the community. So, being part of the community, that's what we're all about here.
All
And
right.
Boxer here looking at a decision of, do you get the guaranteed undepleted Zenith banner, or do you get the influence out of your Diplo Seal? And the Diplo Seal is going to come out for Shadow, which I'm guessing is for this Makar's Quiver in hand. And Doc28 is going to wall off these pesky little Grenadins, but I have to believe that this Combust is coming right out to remove that Master Conjure, because you do not want her taking up that primal.
All right. Doc looking at a hand of Maveloft Huntress, Pause for Reflection, Jotun Hurler, Snowball, Vicious Overgrowth, and a Petition. And now what you want to be looking at with this Master Conjurer is that 6 Primal Influence. So once you get to 6 Primal Influence, Master Conjurer, every time you cast, well, the second spell in a turn, only once per turn, generate out a 4/4 Flying Storm Dancer. So as your 4th primal right there, and then a primal symbol here for Doc. If Doc chooses to play it, a primal symbol is actually a huge draw off the top, because that's gonna accelerate Doc from 3 primal last turn with the attack into a 2 primal this turn. And I think Doc can go primal symbol, Petition, and then either Snowball, probably Snowball versus Pause for Reflection, and they're going to get a 4/4. And there you go. Just like that, Doc on turn 4, getting a 4/4 Storm Dancer and turning on this Master Conjurer. Huge turn for Doc, and that's part of the reason this
Oh yeah.
deck is just insane.
Yep. If that Master Conjurer gets going, look out. As I said last turn, I have to imagine that we were going to see the Combust. We didn't. Boxer played with fire a little bit there, and I have to say, he probably got burned.
There you go. And now there's the Combust taking care of the Conjure. But unfortunately, Doc's already got their 4/4. So that engine is something you have to deal with right off the bat. You can't let that go crazy. But unfortunately for Boxer,
Yep.
Doc still has the 4/4. And now Boxer had to take care of that engine. But now now Boxer also has to deal with this 4/4.
Right. I mean, as we've sometimes seen, the best time to do this was in the past. The second best time is now.
Isn't that
So,
meme that meme template
yeah,
on Twitter? Yeah. That's what's happening here for sure.
the best time to delete this tweet was, 20 minutes ago. The second best time is now.
Yeah. And one of the great things about the Elysian deck is they attack from so many different angles. Fans of the series might have heard me say this before, but you deal with the Master Conjurer, then you need to deal with the 4/4s, and heaven forbid Doc gets a Giral going or draws a Wump and Mizo and starts firing off snowballs. You just have to have answers for so many different things. It's really hard for a deck to do that. And look at this synergy. Pause for Reflection, my own Huntress, back to hand, replay it again, get a new killer attack, and get a new plunder. Just, wow, firing on all cylinders there.
Yep. Pause for Reflection combined with Huntress, combined with the Imbue, and possibly even the Plunder on other power. It gets nutty in a hurry. So Boxer has to just get back on board and get something going. I have to imagine we see the Makar's Quiver into the Kindling Carver, but no, we're going to see another Naked Strange Burglar, hoping that Doc doesn't have another answer. Have to imagine, in five, in 4 cards now that we see another answer, but no, Doc actually saying, "Hey, I do not have an answer for the second strange."
And there's that Giral, like I mentioned. Now, Giral is a little bit different. The key number there is 8 primal. When you play a spell, deal its cost to the enemy player. So with 8 primal, every spell that Doc casts is going to go to Boxer's face. And then especially if you're able to get a second Giral, either from playing a second one or making a copy of it, those start hitting really fast. Giral also has an ability that when you attack with either with Berserk or regular attack, you're able to flip spells off the top of your deck. So those synergies, those abilities synergize really well together and able to fire off a ton of damage.
Oh, for sure.
And here comes the primal symbol. So there's that 8th primal off the top. So now Giral is fully active. Vicious Overgrowth, deal 3 damage, amplify 2 plus the 3 damage from the draw. That's going to put Boxer down to 3, attack for 4. And that was just too much for the Boxer to handle. Doc had everything they wanted in that game. So congrats, Doc, on taking game 1 there.
Yep. Ultimately, it was a Storm Dancer that decided everything there. Because she provided the imbue fodder, the imbue target for the Mabeloth Huntress that took care of that first strange burglar, and she swung in for lethal. So, as I said, I had to imagine that we'd see the Master Conjurer taken down immediately. We didn't, and it cost Doc mightily there.
All right, and these players diving right into game 2. Nothing to wait for here. Let's go see him get ready for game 2. All right, Boxer's down a game. I mean, this is they want those good tiebreakers. So on the line here for the Boxer. Our players know they're good to go.
So if I'm in Boxer shoes, how do I sequence this? I think it has to be the depleted Xenon banner first into Rat Cage combined with the
Faithful.
He's Faithful.
Yeah.
But no, we're gonna see the turn 1 Rat.
Turn 1 Rat Cage here, and here comes a turn 2 Giral. That's a good blocker for Doc28. Second Shrine to Carvet here. Now, notably, we don't have control over play draw. There's nothing we can do about that. We don't have control over the in-game system, so it's just random every single game. So even though Doc won game 1, also got the play in game 2, nothing we can do about that. And this is quite a start for Doc. Giral ascending into Master Conjurer with a second Giral in hand and a snowball. You know, if Doc's able to get their influence up, that's really the only thing holding Doc back right now is that they're stuck on 3 primal influence with no power in hand. But yeah.
So here is a shrine to carve it, establish it, before you get absolutely shellacked for 3 power, quote unquote, do nothing. But that leaves the Master Conjurer just ready to go with an attack and petition for primal symbol.
That was a good draw for Doc. You know, petition not always the best draw, but right there, petition to get you up to that 5 primal attacking in to get you up to 6. That's going to change the story in a hurry. And like we mentioned, second draw in hand. And there, pause for reflection. That's going to turn on. And just like we saw last game, that's a turn 4 Storm Dancer. And that Conjurer is on again.
Yep. Except this time, there's no combust in sight. So this Master Conjurer is quickly going to ramp things up in a hurry. We see the snowball come out. We have to believe there's a second spell in here. If not, that Giral's going to draw it.
We do have a pause for reflection in hand for Doc, and Doc, remember, has that second draw and that Wump and Mizo. Wump and Mizo was the draw for turn, so if we needed another threat, Doc's able to do that. Now, the Shrine to Carvet is a little bit awkward here, but I don't think... Well, we'll have to see, because there's going to be a lot of lifesteal off of this, but this is a ton of damage coming through for Doc. With that second Giral...
There's no sacrifice.
So much damage. Oh yeah, there's nothing really to sacrifice. So you're right. There you go.
Yeah, Boxer just has to scoop him up.